Good day and welcome back to another DB Legends video. In this video, we're going to talk about the Rev UI Goku and how he looks with the Zenkai, and obviously, crucially, how you can get that Zenkai power. So, Rev UI Goku, to cut a long story short, Zenkai looks decent. Legend Zenkai has fallen in one of two categories: massive rework or slight stat adjustment. Goku looks like he's falling into the latter. He feels like he's been slightly revamped statistically, which I think is fine. But obviously does mean that, he's not maybe changing how he plays. And I don't think that's the case. Remember, he's a UI unit ultimately. He revives into a UI. His two core mechanics are his revive, which allows you to soak big damage or rising rushes, and then his secondary effect, which is obviously turning into a UI character, which forces your opponent to play a certain way. The big difference will be his two new passives. Everything else is just slight statistical increases. So instead of 80% damage inflicted, 130, for example, it's his two new passives that make the significant difference. So we have two and even higher plane. This allows him to draw one card when he uses his arts first time, so it's a bit more tempo control. Also increases the enemy's arts cost temporarily, bit of counter there. On his vanishing step, he'll restore his health, increase his damage, and give himself special arts damage, which is fine. And then his all-out offense, which increases his guard when the enemy activates a special arts move. And most importantly, when there are two other universe rep or guard key ally battle members, his sub count will go down by -7 when the enemy activates an ultimate, special, or rising rush. And this is important because it basically allows him to be used for his primary focus in his base form, which is him being absolutely slammed. Like, your goal is for him to be blown up in his base form. His base form is essentially decent damage plus being blown up by big attacks. It's not meant to be super tanky because its goal is to obviously revive. If we then look at the UI forms, again, majority is statistical increases. This is fairly obvious. Mainly just statistical increases on the secondary form. And then obviously still the addition of an improved version of the tempo control passive. And then also obviously on the strike, blast arts, hit side of the passive, which, everyone will see. All in all, he is a decent special damage soaker. He can revive, which is great for eating rising rushes or big special moves. And when he revives, he gets a further damage boost, further defensive boost to become a little bit more of a solid defensive unit. He can still continue to eat supers, but most importantly, he is a very high vanishing gauge unit. So his unique gauge is vanishing step and everything. And he also has penetrate endurance. And he is basically a good damage dealer that has the auto-evade UI mechanic. All in all, he seems decent. I'm not going to lie, this kind of Zenkai feels okay. It will probably make him competitive in the meta. His big thing is, does he counter the aspect of blue UI Goku? Because that's his role. His role is to act as a green counter to the blue unit that just came out. I think maybe, but not maybe as much as, like, you've seen Green Vegito see a big resurgence recently because of his ability to combo down Goku. I don't know if this UI Goku will see the same level of resurgence, because although his abilities do help him to combo a bit better, his main gameplay mechanic is still actually that core UI auto dodge, baiting the opponent into a mistake kind of function, which is what you want. Look, overall, I think he's good. I think he's solid. I think the stat increase is enough. But yeah, I think you're more seeing him as a pseudo counter to blue UI to a certain extent. I don't know if he'll be a hugely impactful green for a long period of time. Obviously a great green option for that UI Goku team. Now, getting his Zenkai power, look, you either do the Zenkai Battle Rush, which will give you 3,000, or you have to do the Zenkai Battle Rush, which will give you 3,000, and you have to complete his missions, which gives you 4,000, or alternatively, you can get him later from Zenkai Ultra Space Time Rush, or you can obviously just summon for his power if you don't want to do any of the hard work, basically, to cut a long story short. In terms of the units that benefit from it. Green Universe Rep, I'd say it has Kale and Caulifla, probably the most notable beneficiary. And then he can get some good boosts from, for example, Toppo and Jiren. Well, I think just Toppo actually. And also Evoken gets a little bit of a boost, but they probably still need a plat or something to really see some action. But I'd say overall it's a solid Zenkai. That's what I would say. Bye.